Finally, the draft of National Identity Registration Act to repeal Ordinance 2025 was approved in principle and finally as supplementary subject. Protesters last night torched and tore down the Dhanmondi residence of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman after calls in social media for demolishing what they said was a pilgrimage site of fascism. An event titled Bulldozers Procession was scheduled from 9 p.m. time to coincide with an online program where deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was slated to speak. The virtual event was announced by the now banned Chhatru League, the student wing of the Awami League. However, hundreds of protesters stormed the building and began taking it apart around 8 p.m. an hour before the planned procession. A mural of Mujib was also wrecked, witnesses said. According to some social media posts, the protest was in response to Hasina's anti-Bangladesh activities from Delhi, where she fled on August 5th. At the scene, protesters chanted various slogans such as "Hang, hang, hang Sheikh Hasina, must be hanged, let all of Bangladesh know, let's bury Mujibism, there will be no place for Awami League's ghost in Bangladesh." Meanwhile, protesters also set fire to Shudha Shodon, the Dhanmondi residence of Hasina. Besides, protesters demolished homes of Awami League's leaders and defaced murals of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in different parts of the country last night and earlier today. Yesterday evening, they demolished the Khulna home of Sheikh Hasina's cousins Sheikh Helaluddin and Sheikh Salahuddin Jewel. Protesters in Chattogram yesterday took out a torch procession to demonstrate against Sheikh Hasina's speech, which was broadcasted from Bangladesh Awami League's social media handles last night. They later defaced Sheikh Mujib's murals at Chittagong Medical College and in the city's Jamal Khan area. Demonstrators damaged another mural of him in front of Sylhet Deputy Commissioner's office. In Rangpur, the mural Mujib at Begum Rokeya University was defaced by the protesters. They also took down the nameplates from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Hall and Sheikh Hasina Fazilutun Nisa Mujib Hall. Protesters vandalized a mural of Sheikh Mujib near the Circuit House ground in Mymensingh city. The Mujib mural of Bangabandhu Hall was also vandalized at the National Poet Qazi Nazrul Islam University in Trishul. In Bhoirab, Kishorganj, the protesters vandalized the mural of Mujib at the Upazila Awami League office. The vandalism at Dhanmondi 32 house was the outburst of public agony caused by Sheikh Hasina's provocative remarks against the July uprising, the interim government has said. A statement was issued in this regard by the Chief Advisor's press wing today. The government said the incident was unintended and unexpected, while the vandalism at Dhanmondi 32 was the outburst of public anger created due to Sheikh Hasina's provocative statements against the July uprising from India, where she is staying to avoid arrest. Sheikh Hasina continues to strike one after another of the wounds created in the minds of the people due to the July massacre. In response to her violent behavior, the incident of vandalism at Dhanmondi Road, number 32, has occurred, the statement read. The statement said the interim government is on the highest alert to protect the lives and property of the country's people, and the law enforcement agencies are making all-out efforts to bring the situation under control. If Sheikh Hasina, a wanted accused on charges of crimes against humanity, refrains from delivering derogative statements, it will be possible to avoid the occurrence. It said the government hoped that India would not allow its territory to be used for any act that creates instability in Bangladesh and would not give Sheikh Hasina scope to make statements. The interim government does not want recurrence of such incidents in the future, the statement said. Foreign Affairs Advisor Mohammad Tawheed Hossain today said insightful speech of Sheikh Hasina resulted in attacks, vandalism and arson in Dhanmondi 32 and other areas. He said students and common people have vented their anger following Hasina's insightful speech. Foreign Affairs Advisor was briefing journalists at weekly meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Tawheed Hossain said "We have sent verbal notes to India to stop Sheikh Hasina's lies and insightful speech." He added, "We have received no reply from India. There was another letter sent to the Deputy High Commissioner of India on the same subject," he said. The High Court today cancelled the process to recruit 6,531 candidates as assistant teachers at government primary schools in Dhaka and Chattogram divisions. A High Court division bench of Justice Fatima Najib and Justice Shikdar Mahmudur Raji pronounced the judgment, declaring absolute a rule issued earlier in this regard. Deputy Attorney General Akhtar Hussain Mohammad Abdul Wahab said the High Court in its judgment asked authorities concerned to follow Appellate Division's latest verdict on quota and publish recruitment results afresh. 30 candidates filed a writ challenging the decision to publish list of successful candidates, accusing authorities of following a quota system in the recruitment of candidates from Dhaka and Chattogram divisions in the third phase. The High Court, after holding a hearing in the matter, issued the rule and stayed the recruitment process for 6 months. The court today came up with a judgment declaring absolute that rule. Dhaka Medical College Hospital Authority issues a release letter to housemate Kalpona, who was being treated at the burn and plastic surgery unit of DMCH for long 3 months. Social Welfare Advisor Sharmin S. Murshid visited the burn and plastic surgery unit this afternoon to see the condition of brutally tortured Kalpona. At this time, she inquired about the well-being of Kalpona and provided her a check of financial assistance. The advisor said that social movement must be built side by side, executing tough laws so to combat women and child repression. Not victim, but the genuine criminal must be focused, she said, urging all to remain vigilant so that none face such brutality in future. 13-year-old Kalpona came to Dhaka from Hobiganj and started working as a domestic help at a house at Bosundhara in the capital. She faced torture for a couple of years. Being seriously ill, she was admitted to Dhaka Medical College Hospital. She was quite well at the moment. A 3-day culinary festival was inaugurated today at Bonani Kamal Atatürk Park in Dhaka to introduce citizens with kaleidoscopic taste and flavor of local cuisine. Cultural Affairs Advisor Mustafa Sarwar Farooqi opened the festival titled Banglar Bhoj. This special event was part of Tarunner Utsav 2025. Over 100 entrepreneurs are taking part in the fest. Ministry of Cultural Affairs, Youth and SME Foundation jointly sponsored the event.
জুলাই বিপ্লবে গণতন্ত্র, মানবাধিকার এবং ন্যায় বিচার পুনরুদ্ধারে নেতৃত্ব দিয়েছেন, জীবন উৎসর্গ করেছেন ছাত্র তরুণরা। নতুন বাংলাদেশ গড়ার লক্ষ্যে যুব ও ক্রীড়া মন্ত্রণালয়ের উদ্যোগে দেশব্যাপী চলছে তারুণ্যের উৎসব 2025। দেশের যুব সমাজকে ঐক্যবদ্ধ করার লক্ষ্যে এসো দেশ বদলাই, পৃথিবী বদলাই প্রতিপাদ্য সামনে রেখে চলছে তারুণ্যের উৎসব। বাংলাদেশ কাবাডি ফেডারেশন আয়োজন করছে অনূর্ধ্ব 18 যুব কাবাডি প্রতিযোগিতা। 20 থেকে 23 জানুয়ারি উপজেলা পর্যায়ে, 25 থেকে এবং 3 থেকে 8 ফেব্রুয়ারি বিভাগীয় পর্যায়ে হবে এই প্রতিযোগিতা। সারা দেশ থেকে বাছাই করা সেরা খেলোয়াড়রা 8টি জোনে ভাগ হয়ে 12 থেকে 18 ফেব্রুয়ারি ঢাকার পল্টন ময়দানে লড়বে জাতীয় পর্যায়ে। তারুণ্যের উৎসবে আপনি মেতে উঠুন কাবাডির সাথে।
Moving on to international news. The Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has said he strongly rejects President Donald Trump's proposal for the U.S. to take over Gaza and resettle the 2.1 million Palestinians living there. Hamas, whose 15-month war with Israel has caused widespread devastation, said Trump's plan would put oil on the fire in the region. The idea has been rejected by countries in the region such as Jordan and Egypt and key U.S. allies, while the UN issued a warning against any form of ethnic cleansing. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said Gaza was an integral part of a future Palestinian state, telling a meeting in New York the rights of Palestinians to live as human beings in their own land was slipping further out of reach. Said in a post on social media platform X. It was the first announcement of promises hinted by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who said that Panama offered States to be in a position to defend the vital waterway and also to be charged for its use. Since winning the November U.S. election, Trump has refused to rule out the use of force to seize the canal through which 40% of U.S. container traffic passes. Trump and Rubio have complained about Chinese investment, including ports on both sides of the canal, and warned that Beijing could close the waterway to the United States in a crisis. Panama has forcefully denied Trump's repeated allegations that China has been given a role in operating the canal. Ukraine's military will create robotic vehicle units to deploy at the front, the defense minister said on Wednesday, as Kiev and Moscow vie to gain a technological advantage over their enemy after nearly 3 years of vicious fighting. The ministry published a photograph of a robotic vehicle with a gun mounted on it as it made the announcement on the Telegram messenger. Unmanned vehicles, in particular aerial ones, have become a key type of weapon in the war since Russia invaded in 2022. With both sides deploying tens of thousands of drones each month in the air, a race is now on to replace as many soldiers on the ground as possible with unmanned ground vehicles, officials say, with Ukrainian manpower reserves running short. Defense Ministry said that the project was based on trials conducted in cooperation with soldiers since the summer of 2024. Digital Transformation Minister Mikhailo Fedorov told newsmen in December that Ukraine would need tens of thousands of unscrewed robotic ground vehicles this year. Units on both sides of the war have already been using UGVs, usually controlled remotely by a pilot through a camera feed. The defense minister said robotic vehicles would be used for offense, defense, logistics, evacuating casualties, and laying or clearing mines. A 3-day international tourism fair titled US Bangla Dhaka Travel Mart 2025 begins in the capital today. Malaysian High Commissioner to Bangladesh Muhammad Shuhada Othman inaugurated the fair. Qazi Wahidul Alam, editor of Bangladesh Monitor, and Abu Tahir Muhammad Jabir, chief executive of Bangladesh Tourism Board, were present at the occasion. The organizers informed that local and foreign airlines have announced discount on air tickets to various destinations for the fair visitors. More than 45 establishments from Jordan, Malaysia, Maldives, Nepal, Thailand, UAE, India, and host Bangladesh are participating in the fair. The fair will remain open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day till February 8th. BNP leaders urged interim government to hand over power to elected government as soon as possible to help build a beautiful country befitting to healthy living of the next generation. They made this appeal at a discussion titled Future of Democracy Under Current Political Perspectives. Shadhinota Forum organized the discussion at Jatiyo Press Club today. Among others, President of Shadhinota Forum, Abu Nasser Muhammad Rahmatullah, Major retired Hafizuddin Ahmed, Habibur Rahman Habib, Advocate Muazzem Hossein Alal, Abdus Samad Azad addressed on the occasion. They observed that anti-democratic forces have left the country. The newly gained democratic power should be engaged for nation building and all should refrain from any form of destruction, they added. Today is the 6th day into the Omor Ekushe book fair. New books are hitting the fair every day. The number of people in the fair is on the rise, so the sale of books is getting momentum gradually. That is why publishers are hopeful regarding the Omor Ekushe book fair. This year's book fair is reflecting the uprising of the students and masses. Many books in the Omor Ekushe book fair are focusing on the spirit of the revolution taken place in 2024, ousting the Sheikh Hasina-led government. Dhaka University Vice Chancellor Professor Niaz Ahmed Khan today urged students not to depend on job only but to emerge as new business entrepreneur. The DUVC made this call while he was inaugurating Chhatro Odhikar Uddokta Mela at the TSC in Dhaka University. Among others, Chhatro Odhikar Porishad leader Sanaul Haq, Gano Odhikar Porishad President Nurul Haq Nuru, General Secretary Mohammad Rashid Khan, Chhatro Odhikar Porishad President Bin Yamin Molla and Director of TSC Farzana Bashar spoke on the occasion. Moving on to news on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain dry with temporary partly cloudy sky over the country. Light to moderate fog may occur over the country during late night to early morning. Night and day temperature may fall by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius over the country. Country's lowest temperature was recorded today at 12.5 degrees Celsius at Tetulia and Srimongol. Capital Dhaka's lowest temperature was recorded at 18.2 degrees Celsius. Moving on to news on sports. Reigning champions Fortune Borishal faces Chittagong Kings in the final of the Bangladesh Premier League BPL tomorrow. The match will start at 6 p.m. at the Sher-e-Bangla National Stadium. Fortune Borishal, who won the title last year, beating Kumilla Victorians, sweated hard in extended practice session today. However, Chittagong Kings enjoyed a rest day because they won the second qualifier against Khulna Tigers late Wednesday night. Tamim Iqbal said being cool and calm and executing the plans efficiently will be the key to success, and his team is relaxed ahead of the crunch final. He, however, expressed his confidence to keep the winning momentum up. Tanim thought Chittagong Kings are a spirited team playing beautiful cricket and both the teams know each other really well. The team playing better weak cricket will have the last laugh. The 9th Asian Winter Games will kick off tomorrow in Harbin, known as China's Ice City in northeast China's Heilongjiang province. This will be the second time that Harbin will host the event and the third time China has hosted the Asian Winter Games. The game is scheduled to take place in Harbin City from 7th to 14th of February. The event themed Dream of Winter, Love Among Asians marks the largest international winter sports competition hosted by China since the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. The Games will feature over 1,270 athletes from 34 Asian countries and regions, making it the largest edition in terms of participating delegations and athletes. The organizers confirmed that all 13 competition venues have been renovated using existing facilities adhering to sustainability, economic efficiency, and post-event repurposing principles. The 64 events across 11 winter sport disciplines are scheduled in the 2025 Asian Winter Games program. The 5 ice sports are curling, figure skating, speed skating, short track speed skating, and ice hockey, along with skiing. Ski mountaineering will also be held for the first time at the Games. Bhutan, Cambodia and Saudi Arabia are scheduled to make the Asian Winter Games debut. Afghanistan and Bahrain returned to the Games after missing the last edition in 2017, while Timor-Leste, who competed in 2017, will not compete here. The 10th Asian Winter Games will be held in Saudi Arabia in 2029. Saudi Arabia will be the first West Asian country to host the Asian Winter Games, which were launched in 1986. Now to end the bulletin's headlines once again. Advisory Council gives final approval in principle to the draft ordinance of International Crimes Tribunal Amendment 2025. Agitated student people vandalizes and sets fire Dhanmondi 32. The whole country is turbulent, demanding trial of autocrat. Vandalization of Dhanmondi 32 is the outcome of people's outrage due to the statement of absconding Sheikh Hasina, says interim government. Indian High Commissioner in Dhaka summoned by Foreign Ministry protesting Sheikh Hasina's statement from India. Protest letter handed over. "14 eminent personalities and national women football team get 21 Padak this year." BNP leaders urge interim government to hand over power to the elected representatives soon to build a country habitable for the next generation. UN Secretary General warns Trump to move away from the plan of ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. Chittagong Kings face Fortune Borishal in the BPL Grand Final tomorrow at Mirpur. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us and invite you to watch our Midnight Bangla News.